Chosen one. Stop right here. It is not by accident that your eyes have landed on these words. This is not coincidence. It is a divine intervention. Heaven has interrupted your flow, your scrolling, your thoughts, because something unseen is approaching. There is a danger circling your life, a trap so subtle that only God's mercy could expose it in time. The Spirit is whispering, "Wake up, chosen one," before it's too late. And you can feel it, can't you? That quiet heaviness pressing on your heart, the tension in the air that no one else seems to notice. That isn't just stress, it's spiritual warfare. You stand at the center of a battle where swords are unseen, but souls are at stake. This isn't about your reputation or your finances, it's about your destiny. There were nights you stared at the ceiling, wondering, why is everything falling apart all at once? People walked away. Doors closed. Opportunities disappeared. Yet what feels like loss is actually divine protection. When heaven removes what you thought you needed, it is never punishment, it is redirection. God is not letting things crumble to hurt you. He is allowing them to break so that what's false can no longer stand beside what's holy. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned." Water represents chaos, fire represents trial. You, the one reading this, are standing in both. But notice the scripture doesn't say if you pass through. It says when, meaning you will go through it, and you will come out. You are not meant to drown in fear or burn in shame. The same fire meant to consume, you will become the light that reveals your calling. The enemy wants you to believe that silence means abandonment, but it doesn't. Heaven's silence often means heaven is fighting for you. Every tear, every whispered, "I can't do this anymore," has been recorded in the courts of heaven. Not one cry has gone unheard. Yes, you are in danger, but the greatest danger isn't what surrounds you. It's forgetting who you are. You are not defined by mistakes, failures, or the opinions of those who misjudged you. You carry within you a lineage of divine power. You are the one God marked to break generational cycles and rewrite the story of your bloodline. That is why the warfare feels so personal, because it is, do not let fear freeze your faith. Do not let shame silence your worship. Heaven hasn't come to condemn you, it has come to pull you out. The real battle is not between you and others, but between obedience and delay. Every moment you hesitate, the trap tightens, but the instant you turn your heart back, chains begin to break. Hear this clearly. The storm is not your enemy, it is your purifier. God allows shaking not to destroy, but to divide, separating what can stay from what must go. The relationships that have faded, the habits that suddenly no longer fit, the things that used to thrill you but now feel empty. That's not loss, that's divine extraction. You are being cleansed of what cannot follow you into your next season. So stand still. Chosen one. Do not run this time, right in the middle of the chaos. God's plan is taking shape. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to trust that His hand has never left you. When the waters rise, He lifts you. When the fire closes in, He shields you. If this message is stirring your spirit, take it as confirmation. This is your moment of alignment. Comment 777 below as a prophetic sign that you are stepping into divine completion and protection. And before you scroll away, take one more step of obedience. Like, share, and subscribe, not for vanity, but because someone else needs the same rescue that found you today. This message isn't entertainment, it's a spiritual lifeline. One day, you will look back and realize this was the moment heaven reached into your storm and pulled you out. You are not standing in the storm by chance, you are standing in it by purpose. Every wave that tried to drown you has become the rhythm of your awakening. This is your sign. Heaven is not done with you yet, and your story is far from over. Rise, chosen one. Let this be the night you decide that fear will no longer lead your steps. You are covered, called, and protected by the plan of God Himself. Walk forward, now, fireproof, unshakable, unstoppable into the future He prepared for you. The danger you face now, chosen one, is not loud. It does not roar like thunder or crash like the sea. It moves quietly through distractions, through small compromises, through moments when you whisper to yourself, "It's not that serious." Yet that is exactly how the trap is built. The enemy's weapon is not always destruction, it is delay. If he can make you settle, if he can make you forget what you carry, he does not need to defeat you, he only needs to distract you until your purpose fades. The most dangerous prisons are invisible. They are built from comfort, from habit, from the illusion that you have time. But the truth is, time is sacred. Every moment you ignore what heaven whispers is a seed of destiny left unplanted. You feel the tension, don't you? That quiet pull between who you are and who you were meant to become. That unrest is not confusion, it is the Spirit trying to pull you back before the danger closes in. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, Abu Alels, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The trap begins when the heart is left unguarded. The enemy does not first steal your blessings, he steals your focus. He fills your heart with noise so you cannot hear the voice of God. One thought, one compromise, one careless word can open the gate for fear to enter. That is why the Spirit urges you to protect your inner ground, for your destiny flows from there. You have walked with people who were never assigned to your calling. Some were meant for a chapter, yet you turned them into a lifetime. You tried to fix what God was removing. You held on to what grace was no longer sustaining. And now your peace feels thin, stretched across too many battles that were never yours to fight. The danger isn't only an attack, sometimes it hides in your attachment. There are times when heaven speaks through silence, when rejection becomes a divine language, the door that refused to open, the friendship that faded, the opportunity that vanished. None of it was coincidence. They were all forms of protection disguised as disappointment. God will never let you keep what could kill your calling. What feels like loss is often the first breath of freedom. Another snare appears when you start comparing. You look around and wonder why others seem ahead while you feel stuck. But destiny does not operate by human clocks. The path of the chosen is not delayed, it's refined. God pauses your movement to purify your motive. You are not behind. You are being prepared for a level where speed cannot carry you. Only strength can. Then comes the danger of busyness. You fill your days with tasks, noise, and scrolling, convincing yourself you're productive. But the enemy loves when you are active yet spiritually asleep. Busyness is a counterfeit of purpose. It drains you while disguising itself as progress. Heaven doesn't call you to more movement. It calls you to deeper stillness. When you slow down, you hear clearly. When you hear clearly, you walk safely. Look at your days. What keeps you distracted? What habits numb your mind instead of feeding your spirit? These are not coincidences. They are snares dressed as comfort. The danger around you doesn't want you to fall dramatically. It wants you to drift quietly. Once you accept numbness as normal, your light begins to dim without you even noticing. But mercy never stops pursuing you. God will disturb what you've settled in before it destroys you. The storm you call unfair may actually be your rescue. Heaven is shaking the ground beneath your comfort to save what remains alive in your soul. What you call chaos, heaven calls correction. Remember this: the enemy fears your awakening. One moment of surrender from you can undo years of his strategy. That's why the pressure has been increasing, not to crush you, but because breakthrough is near. You are standing at the thin veil between danger and deliverance, and heaven is whispering, "Guard your heart. Return to me." No, the stillness you feel right now is sacred. This is the hour to see through deception, to recognize that the real danger is not the darkness around you, but the dimming of the light within you. Do not let comfort become your cage. The safest place you can stand is not behind walls, but within the will of God. Even when you can't see the path ahead, know this truth: the absence of clarity is not the absence of God. When He hides direction, it's so you will seek His presence, and those who stay close to the light will never be swallowed by the dark. You have wondered why the attacks have felt personal, why the pressure never seems to lift, why certain seasons felt like punishment instead of purpose. The answer is this: you were marked long before you were wounded. The battle didn't start when you stepped into faith. It started when heaven spoke your name into existence. You were not chosen recently. You were chosen eternally. There is a reason the enemy recognized you before the world did. He saw your potential long before you understood your purpose. He noticed the light inside you. And every trial you've faced since then has been an attempt to snuff it out. The pain wasn't random. It was strategic. But what the enemy designed as a burial, God is using as a birthing. You carry a mark that cannot be erased, a divine fingerprint pressed upon your spirit. It is why people have misunderstood you, why rooms have felt too small for your vision, why you've often felt out of place among those you love. You are not broken, you are branded by heaven. That invisible mark is both a shield and a target. It draws both favor and warfare, both destiny and delay. There are moments when you've asked, "Why me?" But heaven answers, "Because I trusted you. You were entrusted with fire. You were chosen to carry glory in an environment that resists it. That's why your journey feels heavier than others. You are carrying something eternal." The Spirit of God once whispered, "Not to destroy your peace, but to reveal your worth. I placed you where others would have drowned, so that others might learn how to swim." Every hardship you endured was an instruction for someone else's deliverance. You have been shaped into a living message. As the prophet Jeremiah spoke in the 33rd chapter, verse 3, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." The mark you carry is not for decoration, it is for revelation. When you pray, heaven listens differently. When you speak, the atmosphere bends. but you must call out. God does not ignore the cry of the marked ones. He waits for it. Every time you whisper his name, you awaken a command in heaven that moves on your behalf. That's why isolation has followed you. It was never rejection. It was training. Heaven pulled you away to fine-tune your hearing. You were never meant to echo the crowd. You were meant to hear the frequency of heaven and speak what others cannot yet comprehend. The mark gives you access, but it also requires surrender. Sometimes you'll feel misunderstood even by believers, because your warfare is different. You've been attacked not because you are weak, but because you carry something sacred that terrifies darkness. Your light exposes the shadows people hide behind. Don't take their distance personally. Take it prophetically. It means the oil on your life is real. And when you feel unworthy, remember this: the mark of God does not rest on perfection, it rests on availability. You may have fallen, but you didn't quit. You may have cried, but you didn't curse God. That resilience is proof of divine ownership. The storm could shake you, but it couldn't take you. You're still standing because heaven refuses to lose what belongs to it. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out as evidence of divine survival. The mark on your life is not a burden, it's a prophecy. Every battle that came against you was confirmation that you are essential to heaven's plan. You don't attract warfare without purpose. So now, chosen one, you are being called to step forward again, not as a victim of what happened, but as a vessel of what's coming. The mark that once made you feel different is now your divine credential. You've been authenticated by adversity. What nearly killed you has become the proof that you are alive for a reason greater than yourself. Before you move to the next section, seal this word in your spirit with a simple declaration in the comments. I am marked. Awaken. Write it as a statement of ownership. It's not just text, it's testimony. When you type it, you're agreeing with heaven that you are no longer running from your calling. You are acknowledging what darkness already knows, that you belong to God, fully and fearlessly. Because the truth is, danger cannot erase what destiny has sealed. The mark on you is not a curse, it is a crown waiting to be revealed. Every plan that has been drawn against you, every unseen conversation meant to dismantle your faith, every whisper of doubt that slipped into your heart, heaven is bringing it into the light. This is the hour of exposure. What has been hidden in shadows will not remain concealed much longer. God is uncovering every deception designed to silence your voice. Because truth cannot operate in the dark. You have felt the tension building. Certain people have begun to act differently. Situations you once trusted have started to unravel. These are not coincidences, they are divine indicators. God is peeling back layers to show you where manipulation has been disguised as kindness, and where flattery has been used to chain your confidence. Every mask will fall, and you will finally see who was for you, and who was merely around you. The enemy's greatest trick is to mix lies with fragments of truth. He crafts confusion that looks almost holy, almost right, almost safe. That almost is where danger lives. You've heard words that sounded spiritual but carried poison, promises that looked like blessings but were meant to distract. Yet God is now releasing clarity into your spirit, cutting through the fog. When His light shines, imitation cannot stand. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to his purpose. Oh, this is not just comfort, it is revelation. Even what the enemy used to harm you is being rewritten into your preparation. You are stepping into a season where exposure is not punishment, but protection. God is showing you what's real, so that you can walk with purity of purpose. The things you lose in this process were never yours to keep. The light of truth is never gentle on lies. When God exposes something, it will sting at first. You may question his timing or feel betrayed by those you trusted, but what he exposes, he heals. The revelation of deceit is always an invitation to freedom. The truth is not meant to shame you, it's meant to sharpen you. You cannot carry divine authority while clinging to deception. This exposure isn't just about people, it's also about perspective. The enemy has been whispering half-truths about your identity. You're too late. You've failed too much. You're too broken to start again. Lies dressed as logic. You've believed some of them without realizing it. But heaven says otherwise. You are still called, still chosen, still usable. God doesn't revoke the assignment when you stumble. He repositions you when you surrender. Exposure brings discomfort, but it also brings clarity. You are learning to discern voices, to know which thoughts are sent from heaven and which are traps from hell. Not every open door is divine, and not every closed one is demonic. Wisdom is the ability to recognize the difference. That's what God is giving you now, eyes that see beyond appearances, and a spirit that senses truth before it's spoken. You are also being taught to listen deeper. The noise of deception thrives in hurry, but truth is revealed in stillness. The quieter you become, the clearer you'll hear. This is why God has been slowing your steps, so that you can finally detect the subtle manipulations that once moved freely around you. It's not only people being unmasked, it's patterns, habits, even your own assumptions. Heaven is confronting the ways you've unknowingly partnered with falsehood. It's painful, but necessary. When God exposes, he doesn't humiliate, he liberates. Every lie uncovered becomes a doorway to greater authority. And through it all, remember this: exposure is not a sign of God's anger, but of his involvement. He reveals what he intends to redeem. He tears away what pretends to protect you, so that you can finally stand uncovered before him, real. Rough, but radiant. What is coming may shock you at first. Some alliances will break, and certain paths will close. But do not panic. The removal is mercy. God is cleaning the stage before unveiling your next chapter. Those who plotted against you will watch as the very trap they built collapses under their own feet. Light always wins when it's given permission to shine. The season of disguise is ending. You are being reintroduced to truth, not the kind that flatters, but the kind that frees. When the exposure feels heavy, remind yourself, God is not trying to ruin me, he is rescuing me. And when everything false finally falls away, what remains will be unshakably real. There is a voice inside you that keeps repeating what you've tried to ignore. It isn't the sound of fear, it's the sound of heaven reminding you that you've been running from your own calling. For too long, you have pushed away that inner stirring, the gentle pull that whispers, "This is the way, walk in it." You keep saying, "Maybe later." But heaven says, "Now." Lel. The voice you keep ignoring isn't random emotion, it's divine direction. You've prayed for answers, for signs, for open doors, but the answer has already been speaking from within. The Spirit has been trying to guide your steps, to pull you away from traps you can't yet see. Every time you feel that sudden pause before a decision, that tug in your spirit, it is not anxiety, it is instruction. The danger of ignoring that voice is not punishment, it is delay. When you silence conviction, you silence protection. The reason the warning feels urgent is because your timeline is shifting. Heaven is not trying to scare you, it's trying to save you. Scripture proclaims in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." That verse is not written for someone else. It is written for you. You've been strong for everyone else. But heaven is asking you to be strong for your own soul now. God will not leave you where you are. But you must be willing to move when He calls. You've been through too many storms to mistake His silence for absence. He is near. He is speaking. And if you will stop running long enough to listen, you will hear Him again. This voice, this gentle but unshakable whisper, has never failed you. Remember the last time you followed it? It led you out of a relationship that was suffocating your spirit. It told you to apply for something you thought you weren't qualified for. And somehow, a door opened. That voice doesn't just speak, it leads. It protects. It rescues. When you choose to listen, miracles start to move. The fog clears. The confusion fades. And purpose starts to breathe again. You begin to see why certain things didn't work. Why certain people couldn't stay. The Spirit never robs you. He redirects you. But here's something few understand. When you feed your spirit, you also feed others. Every word you receive and share becomes a spark for someone else's light. And this is where your role in this message becomes powerful. If these words are watering your soul, if they bring you peace, courage, or direction, I ask you gently, help keep this light shining, not out of obligation, not as payment, but as partnership. Think of it this way. When a candle lights another candle, it loses nothing, yet the room becomes brighter. Every like you press is a small flame saying, "I see the light." Every share you give is like opening a window so that another heart can see it too. When you subscribe, it's like planting your lantern in a long road of faith, promising to keep walking together through the night. And if your heart feels stirred to donate, let it be as natural as a river returning to the sea. You are not losing anything. You are letting gratitude flow back into the current that first refreshed you. Every offering, no matter how small, becomes a drop of light in this growing ocean of hope. No one is watching to measure it. No one is demanding it. You give only if your heart whispers, yes, because generosity, when born of love, is the purest worship. So, chosen one, as you continue this journey, remember, a flame only survives when it breathes. These small acts, liking, sharing, subscribing, and even donating, are the breaths that keep this fire alive. Together, we make sure that the warmth that found you tonight reaches the next soul shivering in silence, and heaven records every spark, not as currency, but as compassion, not as debt, but as devotion. You are not funding a project, you are tending a living flame. And in that quiet act of kindness, you are echoing the same voice that once said to you, "Be strong, do not be afraid. I am with you." Every spark you give returns as warmth you'll one day need. The light you help sustain will circle back when your own night feels longest. Let this not end here. Let it continue through you. One act, one share, one seed of kindness can ignite generations you'll never meet. You are standing at a threshold. Chosen one. It is the narrow line between what was and what must become. Heaven has brought you to a point of holy tension, a breaking point. Not to crush you, but to call you higher. Everything you have been through has led to this moment of decision. The walls around you feel as though they're closing in. The options you once trusted no longer fit. You've tried to fix things your own way, but nothing seems to move. That's not failure, it's divine redirection. God is removing every false foundation so that only what's eternal can remain. He is not punishing you, He's pruning you. You've prayed for change, but heaven answers through shaking. The ground beneath your comfort is shifting because stability was never meant to replace surrender. There comes a moment in every chosen life when you must stop negotiating with obedience. You cannot walk in divine strength while clinging to human security. Heaven reminds us through the words of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. This verse has never been more alive than it is for you now. You've leaned on reason, experience, even fear, but heaven is whispering, let go. The safest hands you will ever fall into are the hands that made you. This breaking point is sacred. It's not the end of your story. It's the moment your heart decides who it belongs to. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour was designed to bring you here, to the place where surrender becomes strength. The battle has been fierce, not because you are weak, but because your obedience is powerful. You are not being broken apart, you are being broken open. And through that opening, light will pour. God breaks only what He intends to fill. The tears you cry in this season are not wasted. They are watering the soil of your next miracle. It hurts, yes, but pain is the language of transformation. What you're losing now are not blessings. They're burdens disguised as safety. You asked God for growth, but growth requires space. That's why certain things are being stripped away. It's heaven making room for expansion. In this hour, God is saying, if you'll lay it down, I'll lift you up. Surrender is not weakness. It's the exchange where you give your limits and receive His power. You cannot carry both fear and faith. They cannot coexist in the same hands. One must go. Let your yes be loud enough to drown the voices of hesitation. Your next level will not wait for your comfort. It will respond to your obedience. Heaven is waiting for your movement. And here is the sign. When you finally release what you've been gripping so tightly, peace will rush in. That's how you'll know you've crossed over. The weight will lift, and your spirit will feel lighter, not because the battle ends, but because your trust begins. The breaking point is not about losing, it's about aligning. You are aligning with divine timing, divine order, divine grace. This is your moment of awakening, the point where your spirit steps into agreement with heaven's rhythm. You've carried so much alone. You've smiled through pain, led others while silently bleeding. But heaven saw every sacrifice. God has been collecting your tears as evidence that your heart still beats for Him. Now He's ready to pour back what you've poured out. So, as you stand at this threshold, don't pull back. Let the old crumble. Let the weight drop. Let faith breathe again. The same God who brought you here will carry you forward. And when you feel the trembling in your heart, the quiet moment between fear and faith, let this be your response. Declare it not with doubt, but with destiny. Comment 888 below. That number is a symbol of new beginnings, resurrection, and divine renewal. It marks a complete cycle closing and a fresh one unfolding. By writing it, you are not performing a ritual. You are declaring, I will not go back to what God has called me out of. No, this is not superstition. It is symbolism. Heaven understands language beyond words, and your faith writes louder than your fear ever could. The act itself is prophetic, an outward echo of an inward surrender. You've waited for a sign. This is it. The door ahead is narrow, but open. The path beyond it may be unfamiliar, but it is holy. Step through with trembling hands if you must, but step through. When you do, you'll find that what you thought was breaking you was actually birthing you. And you'll understand that this is not the end. It's the unveiling of the version of you heaven always saw. There are battles you fought that no one knows about. The sleepless nights, the silent tears, the way your heart trembles while your mouth says, I'm fine. But heaven has seen every unseen struggle. The war around you is not of flesh and blood, it is spiritual. You are not losing your mind, you are standing in a battlefield that cannot be seen, where unseen hands are reaching for your destiny. You felt the pressure of something invisible pressing against your peace. You wake up heavy, not because of what's happening around you, but because of what's happening above you. Every chosen one experiences this, an invisible resistance that seems to rise whenever you're about to step into purpose. That resistance is proof that you are getting close to breakthrough. The air has felt thick, the days unusually hard, and your thoughts louder than ever. You've asked, what's wrong with me? But nothing is wrong with you. You're not crazy. You're in combat. The enemy does not fight those who are harmless. He attacks those who carry weapons of light. You are one of them. Every prayer you whisper is like fire released into the atmosphere. Every act of forgiveness breaks a chain in the unseen realm. You are not just living, you are warring. As the apostle wrote to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11, put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. No, you've been standing. Even when your knees shook, you've been fighting. Even when you felt unarmed. But heaven wants you to know you are never unarmed. The armor you wear is not metal, it's spiritual. Truth is your belt. Righteousness, your breastplate. Faith, your shield. Salvation, your helmet. The word of God, your sword. And prayer is your constant breath. The very sound that terrifies darkness. In this invisible war, you must understand one thing. The enemy doesn't fear your name. He fears your alignment. When you walk in sync with heaven's rhythm, his schemes crumble. That's why distractions multiply when you begin to pray. It's why confusion intensifies when you start to trust again. Hell trembles when you align with heaven's will. You are not weak because you feel weary. Even warriors rest between battles. The exhaustion you feel is not defeat. It's the weight of victory being born. Every tear you've shed has watered ground that will soon bear fruit. The heaviness you carry is holy. It's the mark of one who refuses to bow to darkness. This battle has never been about winning people's approval or securing comfort. It's about protecting your light. There are moments when the enemy cannot destroy your destiny, so he tries to drain your energy. He uses small discouragements, Rundung, chaos, sudden misunderstandings, all crafted to make you stop shining. But the moment you lift your gaze, the battle shifts. The enemy loses power when you remember where your help comes from. You have angels fighting beside you. You have prayers that still echo in heaven, commanding protection around your home, your mind, your family. Even now, unseen shields are forming around you. You are never alone in this war. When you feel the darkness press in, whisper the name of Jesus, and light will answer. His name still carries authority that no shadow can resist. The warfare you feel is confirmation, not condemnation. It means your presence is disturbing darkness. The enemy sees what you cannot yet see, the coming elevation, the doors about to open, the lives your obedience will impact. He's trying to stop what he knows will change everything. But he cannot stop what heaven has ordained. So hold your ground. Don't run. Don't heeder. And don't surrender your peace. Every time you stand firm, you declare, silently, I am covered. You don't need to see victory to know it's coming. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply staying when every force tells you to flee. The spiritual battle is real, but so is your armor. You are stronger than what surrounds you because of who stands within you. God is not watching from afar. He's commanding your defense. The same power that raised Christ from the dead is active in your life right now. You will not be destroyed in this fight. You will come out refined. The flames around you are not consuming you, they are consecrating you. And soon, you'll realize that every struggle only made you sharper, braver, and more like the one who called you. So, breathe deeply. Chosen one, the war is fierce, but heaven's army is fiercer. You are not losing, you are lasting. You are being trained in the language of victory. And soon the battlefield that once terrified you will become the ground of your testimony. There is a kind of danger more subtle than any battle or storm, the danger of comfort. It creeps in quietly, not with fear, but with familiarity. It tells you that because the fire has cooled, you can rest forever in the ashes. It whispers that peace means stillness, that silence means safety. But heaven warns you now, not all stillness is sacred. Some stillness is spiritual sleep. You have walked through storms, fought wars, cried prayers into the night, and now that the noise has faded, you feel tempted to settle. You look at what you've survived and say, this is enough. But the truth is, you have only arrived at the middle, not the finish. Comfort, when left unguarded, becomes a cage disguised as calm. There's a part of you that still feels alive, restless, unsatisfied. That part isn't ungrateful, it's aware. It's the spirit inside you, whispering, there's more. You were not created to build a home in halfway places. The moment you call comfort your destination, purpose begins to wither. The ancient words recorded in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, still speak today. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stillness is holy only when it is obedience, not avoidance. When God tells you to be still, He doesn't mean stagnant. He means surrendered. There is a sacred difference between peace and paralysis. One moves in faith, the other hides in fear. Many have mistaken spiritual numbness for divine rest. And in that confusion, destiny slows. You can feel the edge of this warning in your soul. The Spirit keeps stirring your heart at odd hours, reminding you of things you said you'd do, dreams you promised to chase, words you once vowed to speak, but life got busy, and peace felt easier than pursuit. Yet peace without purpose becomes poison. You cannot live your calling in neutral. The enemy knows he cannot always destroy a chosen one, so he distracts them with comfort. He makes the days blend together until your fire cools and your urgency fades. You stop praying with power. Stop expecting miracles. Stop listening for the voice that once moved you to tears. Slowly, passion turns to passivity. But this is not who you are. You were born to burn, not to blend. You were designed for movement, not maintenance. There is a reason your spirit resists routine, because eternity has been written into your heart. Each time you ignore the call to rise, something inside you sighs, like a caged bird remembering flight. Complacency is the quiet thief of destiny. It doesn't break in with noise, it settles in with ease. You start saying, "I'm fine," when you're not. You stop reaching because standing still feels safer than stepping into the unknown. But safety has never been heaven's goal. Transformation is. God loves you too much to let you stay comfortable. That's why the stirring won't leave. It's why opportunities that once satisfied you now feel too small. Heaven is provoking you toward movement again. Not every discomfort is an attack. Sometimes it's divine disruption. The Spirit is saying, rise again, rebuild again, believe again. The season of hiding behind peace has ended. The silence that once healed you can no longer hold you. You have outgrown what was once a refuge. The cocoon that protected you in one season will suffocate you in the next if you refuse to emerge. Look around your life and notice the subtle signs, the way joy feels muted, how time slips without meaning, how your prayers feel rehearsed instead of raw. These are not signs of failure, they are signs of awakening. God is gently shaking you, not in anger, but in love. He is saying, I need you awake again. Listen, you cannot go back to sleep when heaven is calling your name. You cannot keep pretending the fire has gone out when embers still glow beneath the ashes. The breath of God is moving over your spirit right now, reigniting what fatigue tried to extinguish. Do not fear the discomfort that is coming. It is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being stretched because new capacity is forming within you. God is enlarging your spirit for the next assignment, and the same way a seed must break before it grows. Your peace must tremble before it multiplies. This is not the end of rest, it's the rebirth of purpose. True peace is not found in staying still, it's found in staying surrendered. When you release your grip on comfort, God will release your wings. And soon, you will understand that the shaking was never meant to harm you. It was heaven's way of reminding you that you were made to fly. There comes a time when God no longer allows you to hide behind excuses. When the light of truth meets the shadows of compromise, something inside, you must choose, repent or repeat. This is that time. You are standing in a holy confrontation, where mercy does not whisper anymore. It calls you by name. You felt the weight of conviction pressing on your heart, the quiet ache that says, you know better than this. It's not condemnation, it's rescue. The Spirit confronts not to embarrass you, but to free you. Every hidden rebellion, every silent compromise, every moment you tried to justify what heaven clearly said no to God is uncovering it. Not to shame you, but to save you. The longer you delay, the louder the tension becomes. That restlessness you feel isn't random, it's divine resistance. Heaven will not let you make peace with what's destroying you. Grace is patient, but it's also purposeful. There's a limit to how long you can dance with distraction before conviction turns into consequence. According to what is written in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13, God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. You've been shown the way out. It's obedience. You've seen the exit sign flicker in your spirit every time you flirted with danger. You've heard the voice that said, "Turn back." This confrontation is heaven's mercy, not judgment. God is not trying to crush you. He's trying to reclaim you. Sometimes the greatest act of love is interruption. God will block your path before He lets you walk willingly into destruction. That's why certain things stopped working. Why doors you wanted stayed closed. You thought you were being rejected, but heaven was intervening. The silence you called abandonment was actually God standing in your way, saying, "Not this way." You may feel guilt for what you've done or where you've wandered, but shame is not your portion. Shame is the enemy's counterfeit for conviction. Conviction points to grace. Shame points to despair. The moment you choose confession over concealment, the chains lose their hold. This confrontation is not God's anger, it's His invitation. He's saying, "Come home before it costs you more." Mercy is still standing at the door, but it will not stand there forever. There comes a moment when grace must step aside and let consequences teach what disobedience refused to learn. But you are not at that point yet. The door is still open. The light still spills through. You've been praying for peace while clinging to things that war against your spirit. Heaven cannot bless what you refuse to release. There's no peace in partial surrender. You can't walk toward destiny while holding hands with what's pulling you backward. So now, in this moment, you have a choice. Lay down what's been killing your joy. Let go of the secret weights. Stop pretending that sin is comfort. God already knows. He is not waiting for perfection. He is waiting for permission to enter, to heal, to cleanse. When you finally surrender, you'll realize this confrontation was not to destroy you, it was to deliver you. God doesn't call you out to expose your failure. He calls you up to restore your future. Every time you say yes to Him, a layer of darkness falls away, and light floods back in. If you can feel the truth trembling inside you now, don't ignore it. Don't run. Let your spirit respond. Write these words as a prophetic confession in the comments. I choose light. Say it not to impress heaven, but to align with it. Those 3 words are more than a statement, they are a shift. When you type them, you are declaring, I choose clarity over confusion. I choose truth over comfort. I choose God over guilt. This is how transformation begins, not with perfection, but with choice. Light always waits for permission. And when you give it, everything begins to change. So breathe deeply. The confrontation is not over your destruction, it's over your destiny. God is fighting for you, even now, even here. When you write, I choose light. You are doing more than typing letters. You are unlocking doors. Heaven recognizes that declaration as agreement, as movement. As the moment your spirit stops running and starts returning, the shadows that followed you cannot survive where light is invited in. Let this confession become your turning point. Choosing light means choosing awareness over ignorance, purpose over paralysis, and grace over guilt. It is not weakness to turn back, it is wisdom. Every time you choose light, you choose life itself. Covenant is a word many forget, but heaven never does. You are not simply loved, you are bound by promise. From the very moment you said yes to God, a sacred agreement was written over your life. He would cover you, and you would carry His light. That covenant has not expired just because life became heavy. It still breathes. It still protects. It still calls your name. You may have wondered, questioned, or broken your own vows, but the truth remains. God has not broken His. The covenant stands stronger than your confusion, deeper than your weakness, and louder than your fears. Every time you return to Him, the covenant rewrites your story with mercy's ink. There were moments you thought the bond was gone, that you had failed too deeply to be found again. Yet the Spirit has never stopped drawing you home. That gentle pull you feel in your heart tonight is not nostalgia, it is remembrance. It is heaven whispering, we still have a promise between us. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19, I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions, and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. This is covenant power, the kind that doesn't fade with time. You walk under a covering that darkness cannot penetrate, even when you feel unworthy. Grace continues its assignment to protect you. God's covenant is not built on your perfection, it's built on His permanence. But covenant also invites response. It asks not for performance, but for participation. God keeps His side faithfully. Yet, He invites you to walk in remembrance, to live in awareness of what has been promised. This is why we gather, why we share, why we speak light into dark places. Every act of faith, every gesture of love, every word of truth keeps the covenant alive in the world. If this message is stirring your spirit, take a breath and realize you are part of something sacred. You are not just receiving words, you are receiving responsibility. And from that place of awareness, I ask gently, from heart to heart, help keep this light moving. Think of it like a garden. Each light you give is a drop of water falling on a seed of hope. When you share, it's as if you are opening the garden gate, letting others wander in and find peace for themselves. When you subscribe, you are planting your roots beside this stream of truth, saying, I want to grow here, again and again. Lend, and if your heart ever feels moved to donate, see it as planting a tree whose shade you may never sit under, but others will. You're not giving to a person, you're sowing into purpose. Every small offering becomes sunlight for the next message to bloom. There is no demand here. No burden. No guilt. The beauty of giving is that it must be free to be holy. If the words you hear have brought healing, strength, or clarity, then giving simply becomes gratitude expressed. You become a co-keeper of light. Just as rivers do not hold the water they carry, your giving, whether through time, attention, kindness, or support keeps the current flowing. You are helping heaven's message travel to the next soul, waiting on the edge of surrender. Every simple act, no matter how quiet, ripples farther than you can imagine. The covenant is not one-sided. God uses people, your voice, your compassion, your presence to continue His promise on earth. You are not just a listener, you are a living thread in this divine tapestry. Each action, however small, strengthens the weave. And know this, every generous act, every like, share, subscription, or donation is recorded not as transaction, but as transformation. Heaven keeps record, not of amounts, but of intentions. When love moves you, even a whisper becomes worship. So, chosen one, stay faithful to the covenant. Keep your flames steady. Continue to give light, the same way light once found you. You are part of heaven's chain of redemption, linking one rescued soul to another. The promise lives through you. The covenant still stands, sealed by grace and carried by your willingness. And when you support what heaven is doing, whether by word, heart, or hand, you are not paying for blessing, you are participating in it. One day, someone lost in darkness will stumble across a message like this and feel the same pull you felt. They'll be reminded that God still keeps His promises, and in that moment, you will have been part of their rescue. That, chosen one, is what covenant looks like in motion. People becoming proof that God never lets go. There is a trembling in the atmosphere, a quiet separation taking place that no one can see, but every sensitive spirit can feel. It is not chaos, it is clarity. Heaven is dividing, sorting, sifting. The faithful are being drawn into deeper devotion, while the fearful cling to the fading comfort of what used to be. You stand now in this divine moment of distinction, where light and shadow no longer share the same ground. This hour of separation isn't about pride or punishment, it's about purification. God is making clear who walks by faith and who walks by familiarity. You've noticed it, haven't you? The distance growing between you and some people who once felt like family, the conversations that no longer satisfy, the spaces that once fit you perfectly but now feel too small. It's not rejection, it's realignment. Heaven is positioning you where your purpose can breathe again. You've been asking, why do I feel different? It's because your spirit has outgrown environments that no longer feed it. God will never let His chosen ones stay where their growth is stifled. The ache you feel isn't loneliness, it's expansion. When heaven calls you higher, the crowd thins, not because you're superior, but because your assignment requires silence. The prophet Elijah declared in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 12, "And after the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire came a gentle whisper." Then, the whisper comes after the shaking. The voice of God always follows separation. He doesn't shout over noise. He waits until the world grows quiet enough for you to hear Him again. That's why things are shifting around you. Heaven is creating the stillness needed for revelation. You must understand this. Separation is mercy. God removes what hinders before He reveals what's holy. Some connections were seasonal scaffolds, meant only to support your growth until you could stand alone. When you cling to what was, you resist what will be. So, when people leave, bless them. When doors close, thank them. When plans fail, release them. The pruning of this hour is not punishment, it's preparation. There are two kinds of believers rising in this time: those who are comfortable in routine and those who are hungry for renewal. The difference lies not in knowledge, but in obedience. The faithful hear the same instructions, the fearful hear, but they move. They don't wait for perfect conditions, they trust perfect timing. You are called to be among them, to move when heaven speaks. Even if you have to walk alone for a while, loneliness is not your enemy, it's your classroom. In isolation, you rediscover intimacy. When all the noise fades, you start to hear the whisper again, the one that says, "I never left you." Every separation creates space for deeper connection, not with people, but with purpose. There is a sacred beauty in being set apart. It doesn't always feel like glory. Sometimes it feels like grief. But even grief can be holy when it's part of your becoming. You are shedding what cannot survive at your next altitude. The higher you go, the thinner the air becomes. Not everyone is built for those heights, and that's okay. This is the moment to stop chasing what heaven has released. You don't need validation to stay obedient. You don't need company to stay faithful. Some roads are meant to be walked with God alone, and the ones who truly belong in your next season will find their way there without you forcing it. Separation also exposes what's sacred inside you. It teaches you to trust your discernment again. The voice that once felt distant is growing clearer because you are finally quiet enough to listen. And soon, you'll look back and realize that every goodbye carried a hidden blessing. Heaven is not dividing to destroy, it's dividing to define. God is drawing a line in the spirit between those who play religion and those who live relationship. The line is not visible, but its fruit is unmistakable. Deeper peace, clear purpose, unshakable conviction. And you, chosen one, are being invited to cross that line, to step out of the grey and into the gold. It may cost your comfort, your popularity, your patterns, but it will give you back your clarity. What is happening around you is not falling apart, it's falling into order. The hour of separation is not a season of loss, but of alignment. God is not taking from you. He's trusting you with what few can handle: holy solitude. Stay steady. Keep your spirit soft and your heart awake. The whisper will soon speak, and when it does, you'll know why everything had to change first. You'll see that every separation was a sacred setup for revelation. Something inside you has started to stir again. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. You are sensing a shift in the air, a divine alarm ringing quietly in your soul. It is not meant to frighten you, but to focus you. Heaven is calling your spirit to attention because timing is changing. The season that once tolerated delay can no longer afford it. You've been feeling it for days, the subtle restlessness, the pull to pray more, to listen deeper, to let go of distractions that no longer satisfy. That's not coincidence, it's a call. The Spirit of God is shaking you gently, saying, "Wake up, you have work to do." No, for too long, you've been living between conviction and comfort, aware of your calling, but hesitant to step into it. You've been trying to balance destiny and distraction, but heaven will not let you stay halfway anymore. This is the hour of awakening, where sleepwalking saints must rise and take their place again. The Word of God declares in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, "The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. The alarm is ringing, not because you're in danger, but because you're in destiny. Time is speeding, and heaven is aligning events around you to push you forward. Every delay you've experienced is becoming divine acceleration. What once took years will soon happen in moments if you are awake enough to move when heaven says, go. You may wonder, how do I wake up? It begins with awareness. You start to notice how often you scroll instead of seek, how often you plan instead of pray, how often you fill silence with noise instead of listening for God's whisper. The awakening begins when you exchange distraction for devotion. The alarm of heaven doesn't sound like thunder, it sounds like conviction. It's the sudden realization that you can't keep living as you were. It's that quiet understanding that something must change. And the change begins with you. Don't be afraid of this stirring. It's not punishment. It's promotion. When God wakes you up, it's because He's about to entrust you with more. He's been preparing opportunities, relationships, and moments that require your full attention. To step into them, you must be spiritually alert. You've survived the storm. Now you must survive the stillness. The enemy cannot destroy you with destruction anymore, so he'll try to lull you to sleep with comfort. But heaven's alarm keeps ringing. Every moment you choose awareness over apathy, you take another step into your true assignment. Remember, awakening doesn't mean chaos, it means clarity. When you wake up spiritually, you begin to see patterns that once controlled you. You notice distractions that once deceived you. You feel time differently, sacred, precious, purposeful. That's what happens when your spirit is alive again. God is not calling you to perfection, just participation. He's saying, open your eyes. There's more. You're not behind, you're being summoned. The alarm isn't for everyone, it's for those who have ears to hear. You are one of them. This is not a casual moment. It's a crossroads. The Spirit is aligning hearts across nations, preparing a remnant of those who will carry His light without fear. You are among that remnant. The fact that you're hearing this now is evidence you were meant to wake up now, not later. So, when you feel the tug in your chest, that whisper that says, move, don't delay. Don't silence it with excuses. Let your spirit respond. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to say yes. Heaven moves at the speed of obedience. And now, I ask you to mark this moment not as ritual, but as remembrance. Comment 4,444 below. This number is a symbol of divine alignment, angelic guidance, and heaven's order unfolding on earth. It represents the call to wake up and walk in step with what God is building. When you write it, you're declaring, I am awake, I am aligned, I am ready. This is not superstition, it's surrender in symbolic form. It's how your faith answers heaven's alarm. Numbers have always marked moments in Scripture: 40 for testing, 7 for completion, 3 for resurrection. 4,444 becomes your sign of partnership with divine timing. So let it be your statement of awakening. Type it not because someone told you to, but because your spirit agrees. This is your yes to heaven. This is you saying, I won't miss what God is doing in this hour. Oh, the alarm has sounded. The light is breaking, and the time is now. You are awake. aware, and aligned, and heaven rejoices over your rising. Everything that can be shaken is being shaken. The ground beneath your feet feels unsteady, and the familiar patterns that once gave you comfort no longer hold. You look around and see changes coming faster than you can prepare for. Doors closing before you even touch them, and people shifting in and out of your life like waves. But this is not chaos, it is calibration. God is not destroying your foundation, He's testing it. What can withstand the shaking will stand forever. The shaking you feel is not punishment. It is the proof that God is building something unshakable in you. Every trembling moment is heaven revealing what cannot remain. The storm is not against you, it's for you. It's shaking loose every false dependence, every misplaced trust, every idol disguised as security. When the shaking stops, only truth will remain. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms. Chapter 62, verse 2. Truly, He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. You were never meant to build your peace on things that move. That's why this season has felt so unstable. God is removing the temporary to restore the eternal. Jobs can change. People can leave. Plans can fail, but He remains. The shaking strips away illusions until all that's left is faith that cannot be shaken. Think back to the times you thought you were breaking, yet somehow you survived. You've lost what you thought you couldn't live without. But you're still here, breathing, believing, becoming. That is the fruit of faith. It bends, but it does not break. The shaking does not destroy the chosen, it defines them. You may feel overwhelmed by what's collapsing, but heaven sees construction, not destruction. The walls that are falling are the ones that kept you small. The shaking is clearing space for expansion. The life you prayed for cannot fit inside the structures built by fear. God must first dismantle before He can rebuild. It's strange, isn't it? The way loss and renewal can happen at the same time. How grief and growth can coexist in the same breath. You cry and yet feel lighter. You let go and yet feel freer. That's the paradox of divine shaking. It hurts, but it heals. There's a sacred rhythm to every collapse. God never removes without reason. He shakes what can be shaken to reveal what cannot. And what cannot be shaken is Him in you. This is how endurance is formed, not in calm seasons, but in the tremors that test what you truly trust. If your life feels unstable, take comfort. You are standing on holy ground, disguised as uncertainty. The shaking is God's signature move before elevation. Every chosen one must pass through the storm before stepping into strength. The sound of shaking is heaven saying, "You're ready for more." This is why fear cannot stay. The enemy wants you to see instability as danger, but heaven calls it transition. A seed must break before it grows. A vessel must be emptied before it's filled. You are not being punished, you are being poured. The tremors in your life are evidence that the pouring has begun. You might lose what you wanted, but you'll never lose what you're meant to have. What's divine cannot be shaken out of you. The love, wisdom, and purpose God placed inside you are earthquake-proof. The world can tremble, but His word remains unbroken. So don't resist the shaking. Flow with it. Let what must fall, fall. Let what must stay, stay. The shaking doesn't end your story. It edits it. It removes what doesn't belong in your next chapter. Soon, what feels unstable will become solid again. Only this time, it will be pure. You'll look around and realize that what remains is real faith, refined by fire. Peace, born from surrender. Love, anchored in God alone. When the shaking ends, you will not just stand, you will shine. Your roots will be deeper, your discernment sharper, your confidence steadier. The world will wonder how you endured, and you'll simply smile and say, "Because I was held." All, and that, chosen one, is the mystery of grace, that the very shaking that once scared you became the sound of your transformation. When the dust settles, you'll see that the shaking was never meant to scatter you, but to settle you. It aligned your heart with heaven's unmovable rhythm. Every tremor was a teacher. Every crack in your foundation became a doorway for light. What once terrified you now testifies you were never broken, only rebuilt. Something sacred happens when you finally surrender. It is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your authority. For all the years you've struggled, endured, and held on when everything inside you said, "Let go." Heaven has been preparing a transfer. The same power that once carried you through survival is now becoming the power that will flow through you in strength. You are stepping into a moment of exchange, where the weight you once carried becomes the mantle you now wear. What once broke you is now the oil that anoints you. Heaven never wastes pain, it repurposes it. Every scar on your soul has become evidence of endurance. And endurance is the language of authority. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 6. "You will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." You were never meant to remain a wounded wanderer. You were meant to rise as one who carries heaven's authority on earth. The mantle resting upon you isn't man-made, it's heaven-forged. It's been shaped through your seasons of silence, tempered through your tears, and sealed by your surrender. When a mantle is transferred, it never falls on the comfortable, it finds the available. That's why your breaking was necessary. Before God can place new weight upon you, He must first make room for it. That's why old dreams died. Relationships shifted, and paths changed direction. What felt like loss was actually God clearing your shoulders for new authority. This moment is holy. You are standing where past and purpose meet. Heaven is wrapping you in what was meant for your lineage, the fulfillment of promises spoken long before you were born. There were prayers prayed generations ago that have found their answer in your obedience today. You may not feel ready, but that's how every chosen vessel feels. The call always arrives before the confidence, but authority isn't about feeling qualified. It's about being surrendered enough for God to flow through you. The power you now carry is not for display, it's for deliverance. Wherever you go, freedom will follow. You are being entrusted with influence that will not come from effort, but from essence. People will begin to sense peace around you without knowing why. Environments will shift when you enter them, not because of your name, but because of His presence upon you. You won't have to announce it. The anointing will speak. This is the difference between recognition and revelation. Recognition needs applause. Revelation needs obedience. You've been trained in silence so that your authority will not depend on approval. Heaven's mantle does not respond to crowds, it responds to character. The weight you feel pressing on your spirit now is holy responsibility. You've been called to carry something that must outlive you, a legacy of faith that will ripple through generations. This mantle will test your humility, refine your words, and require your full attention. But it will also bring miracles that logic cannot explain. Some will not understand your new season. They will remember who you were, not who you've become. But don't defend yourself. The mantle will prove what words cannot. Authority doesn't argue, it manifests. As you walk under this covering, storms will still come, but they will not crush you. The same winds that once broke you will now bow to the presence you carry. You will find that your prayers carry weight, your worship carries warfare, and your obedience carries breakthrough. Every chosen one receives a moment like this when heaven says, "Now." That word releases divine permission. You are no longer fighting to survive. You are commissioned to lead. You are stepping from being shaped by fire to carrying fire. And this time, the flame will not consume you. It will crown you. This mantle is not temporary. It is eternal, woven from the thread of destiny and the promise of grace. Wear it with reverence. Walk with boldness. You were not just saved from something, you were saved for something. And when you feel the familiar doubt whisper, "Who am I to carry this?" remember, you are the one who did not quit. That's what qualified you. Heaven crowns the faithful, not the flawless. So, walk forward. Mantle bearer. The weight on your shoulders is not a burden, it's a banner. It announces to darkness that its time is short, and to heaven that its vessel is ready. You have become what every trial was shaping, a living conduit of divine authority. There is a stillness before great shifts. The air feels heavy, not because it's empty, but because heaven is about to speak. You've come far, endured storms, faced shadows, and stood firm while everything around you shook. Now, you stand on sacred ground, a moment between mercy and movement. This is not an ordinary hour. It is the final warning before fulfillment. Heaven is whispering, "Stay awake, chosen one." The final moments before breakthrough are the most dangerous, because that's when distraction sounds the sweetest. The closer you get to destiny, the more the enemy will try to lull you into stillness, not the holy kind, but the kind that silences purpose. You've been fighting too long to stop now. Mercy still stands at the door, but the clock is moving. The light that once waited patiently now burns brighter, calling you to step through before it dims for a season. God's voice is soft, but it's not small. His instructions are clear, even when they feel costly. The question is not whether he will move, it's whether you will. Heaven speaks clearly through the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 6. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. These words are more than poetry. They are a pulse. They remind you that divine opportunity has rhythm. There are moments when heaven opens its window wide and says, "Now." You are standing in one of those moments. Everything inside you knows it. You can feel it in your chest, the urgency, the holiness, the pull. This is your chance to step forward, not out of fear, but out of faith. God is not threatening you, he's inviting you. The warning is mercy, disguised as thunder. The heaviness in your heart right now is not condemnation, it's conviction. Conviction is the language of love that refuses to lose you. You've been given much, seen much, endured much, and because of that, More is required of you now, not more perfection, not more effort, but more surrender. Heaven is calling for your full yes, no halfway promises, no conditional obedience. But as you walk into this next season, remember, you do not walk alone. You are part of something larger, a chorus of chosen ones across the earth who are waking, rising, and shining together. You are part of the echo of heaven. Every like becomes a ripple on still water, one small gesture traveling farther than you can see. Each share is like lifting a lantern high, letting its glow reach someone lost in the fog. When you subscribe, it's as if you plant a stone along the path, saying, I will keep walking this road of light. Leave a comment when a word stirs you. Think of it as laying another ember on the altar. Your words breathe life back into the message and help it travel farther. Comments are not noise, they're echoes of faith whispering. I felt that too. And if your heart ever stirs to donate, imagine it as planting a tree in a barren field. You may never sit under its shade, but others will. You are not giving money, you are giving meaning. You're placing another flame into the fire that kept you warm, ensuring someone else will find its glow. No one asks you to give, you are invited to grow. Love never commands, it calls. And if your heart whispers yes, then even the smallest act becomes eternal. Let generosity turn from transaction into transformation. Every act, like, share, comment, subscribe, or donate, becomes a bridge between your gratitude and someone else's awakening. You are part of something eternal. This is not about platforms or pages, it's about purpose. You are not supporting content, you are nurturing calling. You are helping heaven's message find souls. It was written for long before they even asked. So, stand in this holy stillness a moment longer. Feel the warmth, the invitation. Let gratitude rise like incense. Every small act you choose in love becomes part of the great divine chain of light. One soul helping another. Remember that God still speaks, still saves, still calls, and one day, heaven will say of you, they were not spectators, they were keepers of the flame. Every flame you tend today will light tomorrow's path for someone else. What you nurture in secret will shine in places your feet may never reach. Let your kindness travel farther than your name. When hearts remember this light, they will not remember who spoke, only that God still does. There are moments when deliverance does not come as a sudden miracle, but as a quiet unfolding. One small door opens, one chain loosens. One breath feels easier than the last. You may not even notice it at first, the way the heaviness begins to lift, the way peace begins to return. But slowly, you realize something has shifted. You are no longer trapped in the same darkness that once held you. You are walking out, one step at a time. This is the narrow escape, the moment when heaven proves that what was meant to bury you has instead become the ground you now stand upon. The danger you thought would destroy you has turned into the testimony that will define you. You were never abandoned. You were being delivered in ways you couldn't yet see. Every snare that once surrounded you is losing its grip. What the enemy planned as your end has become your beginning. The same pit that once held you captive has turned into the place of revelation. God does not waste even the worst moments. He weaves them into rescue. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Corinthians. Chapter 4, verse 8. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. Those words were written for seasons like this, when life feels both heavy and holy. When you carry scars, but still move forward. You've endured pressure that should have broken you. Yet here you are, still breathing, still believing. That alone is proof of divine intervention. Deliverance doesn't always look like a parted sea. Sometimes it looks like a steady walk through the wilderness. Sometimes the miracle is not in how fast you get out, but in how faithfully you keep walking. The narrow escape is not a sprint, it's a surrender. Each obedient step pulls you further from what once controlled you. And while you walk, heaven rebuilds behind you. The traps that once defined your fears are collapsing into dust. The places that once felt like prisons are now monuments of mercy. You will look back and say, "That place tried to kill me, but God used it to wake me." Every scar now speaks. Each one has become a page of a larger story that ends not in ruin, but in redemption. You have been preserved for purpose. The narrow escape was not just about survival, it was about redefinition. You are no longer the same person who entered the storm. You have been remade by rescue. Notice how the world feels different now. The air is clearer. The noise that once controlled your thoughts is fading. You have crossed a threshold. Even if it feels small, the danger has passed. But the memory remains, not to haunt you, but to humble you. God saved you, not only from what was chasing you, but from what was chaining you within. You are learning to breathe again, to trust again, to hope again. The fear that once dictated your every move has lost its authority. That's how you know deliverance is real, when peace becomes your default instead of panic. You no longer react out of fear, you respond from faith. Heaven's plan to pull you out was never rushed. It was precise. God waited until the exact moment when you could walk freely without looking back. Every delay was protection in disguise. Every silence was strategy. You were never waiting for God, He was waiting for your readiness. Now you understand that escape isn't about running from danger, but being drawn toward destiny. You didn't just leave a pit, you stepped into purpose. The same God who pulled you out is now positioning you where you once fell. Others will find freedom through your story. The escape has taught you discernment, how to recognize what nearly ruined you and how to stay free once you've been rescued. Deliverance without wisdom leads to repetition, but deliverance with discernment leads to legacy. You now carry keys you didn't even know you needed. This narrow path will widen soon. It will open into new territories, new opportunities, and new peace. But don't rush it. The narrowness is teaching you precision, how to walk carefully, how to protect what was hard won. And as you move forward, remember this: your rescue is not just for you. You are being sent back into a world that still doesn't believe freedom is possible. Your story will prove that it is. Your scars will speak louder than sermons. You have escaped, not by luck, not by chance, but by plan. And that plan was never to harm you. It was always to heal you. What was meant to bury you has instead revealed the root of your resilience. This is what grace looks like in motion: quiet, steady, unstoppable. You've walked out of what once defined you, and the air ahead is filled with promise. You are free, and freedom has just begun to unfold. You have crossed through the danger, walked through the valley, endured the breaking, and stood through the shaking. Now, the air feels different. The heaviness that once wrapped around your chest is lifting, replaced by a quiet awareness. You made it. What once threatened to consume you has only refined you. The fire did not burn you, it baptized you. The waters did not drown you, they delivered you. You have come through not by strength, but by surrender. There is a stillness that follows deliverance. It is not silence born of absence, but peace born of completion. Heaven has finished what it started. You are no longer in survival mode. You are standing in stability. The danger has passed, but the mark of destiny remains. This is the ascension of the chosen, the rising of one who has seen both battle and breakthrough and carries both as testimony. The revelation given in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 11, declares, "They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." And you are now that testimony. You are living evidence that grace works, that mercy wins, that faith never fails when anchored in truth. Everything that tried to destroy you became a stepping stone to glory. Every wound became wisdom. Every scar became strength. This is what ascension looks like, not a throne made of gold, but a spirit made of fire. It's the moment when your vision clears, when you realize you no longer need to prove anything. You are free from comparison, free from confusion, free from the constant noise of trying to earn what was already yours. God never intended for you to stay in the shadow of danger forever. He brought you through it so you could see how divine protection feels from the inside. You are no longer the same soul who once trembled at the thought of tomorrow. You now stand as one who knows who holds tomorrow. Ascension is not about elevation of status. It's about elevation of sight. You see differently now. You recognize what matters. You no longer chase applause because you understand presence. You no longer beg for validation because you are anchored in revelation. The things that used to shake you have no power here. Look at you, strong, but soft, bold, but humble, still human, but holy in purpose. You carry peace like a mantle now, the kind of calm that can't be faked or forced. You've earned this rest, not by perfection, but by persistence. Heaven calls you steadfast, and that is the highest title of all. There will still be storms, but they will no longer scare you. You've learned to walk on waves. There will still be battles, but they will no longer break you. You've learned that victory doesn't always mean winning, it means standing. You've learned that even when your knees shake, your faith can still speak. The glory you carry now is quiet. It doesn't shout, it shines. It draws others without demanding attention. It comforts without explaining. It teaches simply by existing. That is the power of those who have truly ascended. They become light by surviving darkness. And this is the beautiful paradox. Your elevation isn't upward, it's inward. Heaven didn't lift you to the clouds, it lifted you to clarity. You are not floating above the world, you are walking through it with unshakable grace. The same hands that once trembled now heal. The same voice that once cried now carries comfort. You have been crowned, not with jewels, but with understanding. You have become the living proof that divine love not only saves, but transforms. And as you move forward, every step you take is a declaration: I am free. I am chosen. I am His. This ascension is quiet. Butitseko reaches eternity. You will keep rising not into fame, but into fullness. The kind of rising that can't be measured in achievements, only in peace. the kind that makes you glow even in shadows. You are the culmination of every divine whisper that ever called you home. The storms were teachers. The fire was a purifier. The silence was a sanctuary, and through them all, you became what you were meant to be, a vessel of glory, a keeper of light, a chosen one, fully awake. So, walk forward now, not as the one who barely made it, but as the one who carries heaven's evidence. The world will see your light and know that it came from somewhere holy. You are not just delivered, you are defined. You are not just rescued, you are risen. And when heaven looks at you now, it does not see the wounds of war. It sees the warrior crowned with grace. The journey has brought you here to the quiet after the storm, the stillness after the struggle. You have walked through danger, through doubt, through deliverance. And now you stand whole. You are no longer the one searching for meaning. You have become the message itself. Every tear, every tremor, every moment of surrender has shaped you into living testimony. Now, this light that found you is asking only one thing: keep it alive. Let it move through you, reach others, and multiply beyond your own horizon. What you've received in this space was never meant to stay within the walls of your heart. It was meant to travel, to touch, to transform. When you like this message, it's more than a gesture. It's like striking a match in the dark, a signal that hope is still alive. When you share, it's as if you open a window and let the fragrance of faith drift into another soul's room. Leave a comment if something in these words has stirred you. Your voice becomes a seed of light, a living echo that tells heaven, I am still here, still believing. Each word you leave may become the very confirmation someone else has prayed for. When you subscribe, imagine yourself stepping into an endless river of revelation. You are choosing to stay connected, to keep walking where light continues to unfold. And if your heart feels led to donate, see it not as giving away, but as giving forward. Like pouring oil into a lamp, your generosity keeps the flame burning for the next weary traveler who needs its glow. You are part of this divine current now. Let your small act of faith ripple outward until the world itself remembers, light never dies when love keeps it alive.